Indeed, we will be breaking for news at the top of the hour, and when we come back, we will be talking about Intaglio Productions. We'll take your phone calls as well if you have any questions for them, and we will return. I'm Scott Brender, and this is Indeed Jet Radio 1400. Well, thanks for being with us on a Friday. We have some special guests in the studio with us that we're looking forward to speaking with. As we said last hour, we have told you before, and you had heard Jeremy Long and his quest to bring his family's story, an eerie story, to the Great White Way. And it is called The Storm. And you may remember that in July I traveled to New York City to see a performance, kind of a condensed version of the musical that was done for a group of investors. It gave us an opportunity to see it, to get our hands kind of around the story of Jim and Marge, and which are his grandparents. And he was able to compose the music, but he had the great weapon of having his grandfather's songbook. His grandfather was a composer. She was a dance teacher, and he would play piano for her, and he composed music. And so, you know, what a great gift of having not only his own ability to compose music, but also the ability to use his grandfather's work and integrate that into the piece to make this really an Erie-centric kind of thing. And every day I look out the window and I see the two buildings. I see Highmark and I see First National Building, which is 711 and 713. So I'm missing it by a little bit because it's 717 is when the first studio was on State. But it's actually, I could pretty much see the property where the original dance studio was. And so this is very much a long time. It's a love story, it's an eerie story, and it's making its way, hopefully, in short order, to at least off-Broadway, because everything has to be done. You know, you gotta walk before you can fly, right? So, anyway, enough of that. Elijah Dillehay is with us from Intaglio Productions, who is the parent company. Did I say that right? Intaglio. As soon as I said it, let me make sure that I have everybody's microphone on before we go anywhere else. Can you guys say hello? Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Hey, we can hear you. Great. That's great. And Kayla Schaefer is the... And these folks are with Jeremy in terms of putting this company together, which is the parent, the umbrella for the Storm, but they also are doing other things as well. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about that in this hour as well. And so, Elijah, maybe I could start with you. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became attached to this?
Absolutely. So I am a professional dancer living and working out of New York City. My first opportunity with Intaglio was I actually worked as a dancer and performer in the Investor Showcase in New York City for the Investor Showcase at the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan.
What a great place that is.
Oh my gosh, it's fabulous. It's an amazing little venue, and we're looking forward to doing more there and continuing.
The elevators took forever, but that's a whole other story. A New York Minute does not have to do with this. I'm sorry.
It's a gorgeous hotel. It's an absolutely gorgeous hotel.
Yeah, it really is.
We had an awesome
very old school.
So I actually started performing, and then shortly after the Investor Showcase there, I joined the team. And immediately got to work. Our first thing was we did a memorial service on 9/11, performing one of Jeremy's original compositions, All I See Is You, at the historic Xavier Chapel in New York City. So I music and vocal directed that, and then am now currently working with Marguerite and Phil Kinney as assistant choreographer for The Storm, which will be in workshop coming soon. ASAP to be announced soon. We can talk a little bit about that later.
All right. Yeah. Kayla, your turn. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Kayla?
So, I'm actually originally from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Welcome back home.
So this is also a story that's near and dear to my heart as well. So I grew up here dancing at Marguerite's Academy of Dance, doing the arts, and I also currently live in New York City. I've been there for about 5 years now, auditioning, performing, working, and the other side of theater always really interested me. So being in Intaglio Productions now is definitely a passion of mine. Being able to create new work and have a supportive team. So yeah, that's pretty much how I started and what I'm doing. And specifically within Intaglio, I'm working on a select group of performers called Intaglio Voices. We auditioned a select group of singers who sent me resumes, video clips, and whatnot. I reached out to them directly to come and audition for us, and just mainly a group of male and female singers that we will call on for various opportunities and different gigs in the city, whether we need some live recordings for the Storm Workshop coming up, some live performances to showcase new work, different opportunities for performers to become involved in our production company and just really get excited about what we're trying to create and do here in New York City.
Elijah, what's the value of a workshop? Is this to kind of raise awareness for it, or is this to give people an opportunity to get more familiar with the material?
So it serves multiple purposes, I think. For us, it is another chance, because like you said, the first version that we did at the investors presentation was a severely shortened version of the show. So we haven't really had the opportunity to do our full-length production in its entirety, and the script's been rewritten a couple of times. So it really gives us a chance to see the show in its entirety and have that opportunity to see, what's going to work and what's not going to work moving forward, as we hopefully take the off-Broadway stage. But then on top of that, it also allows us to have a more polished product to then present to more investors and producers to just take the show to the next level, and then continuing to the next level and the next level until hopefully Broadway, But yeah, it gives us an opportunity to showcase everything within the show, and gives us a chance to try the new things that we want to try with the show and test everything out.
Yeah, because when you read the script, or when you're looking with the same eyes, constantly all the time, you want to be able to give the show life and legs, and something that may look right on paper, within the workshop may not work in a live setting. So for 719, I was the assistant to the creative team, and right there and then there were things we knew that were going to work, and things that it was like, what, that's something we can change.
Absolutely.
So the workshop is giving it legs and life, and just seeing where we can take it from there. And also, as you brought up as well, Scott, is giving awareness and interest. People knowing the Storm, Intaglio Productions, giving us life in the theater district, and a platform. And as with anything, social media is also a large platform for us to be able to show our work and what we're doing. So you can find us on Facebook, Intaglio Productions. Yes, Facebook, the Storm, Instagram. We have our website as well. So that, our stuff is accessible to show, interest and get more
where we're going
involved.
next.
Yeah.
Because we're going. We've hit the ground running.
Well, that's, I guess one of our questions is, as some of the listeners who are familiar, they listened to Jeremy in the summertime, and they heard my stories about going to New York City and so forth. There is an interest locally in where on the timeline, and if you're not familiar with putting something on the Broadway stage, it's extremely expensive, and it's a long process, and Jeremy already talked about the years that he's invested in this, and now you folks are on that journey as well.
Yeah.
Where can you tell us about where we are on that timeline? Is there a situation where within a certain time frame we'll be able to say, hey, I think we might be able to make a bid to try to get to off-Broadway?
So as always, there's a goal for that, a goal in the timeline. However, there can be like roadblocks.
Oh yeah,
there's always something,
But where we're currently standing from 719 is we have the workshop budget is $115,000. That would give a length of the production that everyone could view it and pretty much see what the Storm has to offer from beginning to end.
Still not, but even with that, still not the exact full show.
Yes,
it's still a workshop version because the like you said, it takes a lot of money to put a show. A lot of money to put a show on Broadway.
Yeah,
but it gives us the best that we can get.
Well, and as Jeremy lamented too, unfortunately, the tried and true is usually what finds the money, because there's a lot of revivals and revisits of things that producers already know is successful. When you're taking kind of an outsider's approach and you've got original material, it's that much longer a hike is it not, in terms of trying to get to that end line, because they don't know if it's going to work or not, and so there's a lot more trepidation, I would assume, among investors to stroke that check and say, okay, I'm behind this, let's go.
And to get a following and to...
It's like starting from the beginning, starting from the ground up kind of thing, because nobody knows about the show, no one knows the story, so it's a gamble for them to take a chance on our show. But that's what we want them to do. Because it's a great show, and it's going to be great.
And I think this is what Broadway has been lacking and needs.
Absolutely.
Is a piece like this, original music that has a great story, great dialogue, amazing dance number opportunities. It's really what Broadway's lacking, I believe.
It's old school Broadway.
All right, well, we need to take a break and try to pay some bills, and we will do that. When we come back, we will return with Elijah Dillahay and Kayla Schaefer and Intaglio Productions and the effort to bring the Erie musical The Storm to the Great White Way. I'm Scott Bremner, Jet Radio 1400, and we'll be back in just a minute. Scott Bremner, Jet Radio 1400. We're taking our break. We're meeting with some folks from Intaglio Productions about what's going on with trying to bring The Storm, an Erie production, to the Great White Way. But first, we have to see what's going on, not on Broadway, but perhaps on Wall Street. And so for that, we turn to Craig Swegwood and Edward Jones for a look at the stock market. Good morning. Scott Bremner, Jet Radio 1400. Happy Friday. TGI Friday, good people of the Jet 1400 Nation. So glad you can spend a little time with us today, where it's nice and warm, and we don't have a care in the world. But of course, what is it about Erie weather? Just wait 5 minutes. The ice may be coming. The Iceman may be coming. I didn't say that right. Anyway, might get a little slippery by your drive home. So please use care. Most of the school districts on a 2-hour early dismissal. Try to get the kids home before things start slip-sliding away. And it may happen, it may not. It's one of those borderline calls, but better safe than sorry, right? I went out and got the extra groceries last night. I'm a man enough to say it. I got scared and I ran out and got my groceries in case I couldn't get out this weekend. Doesn't make me a bad person. Anyway, a little taking care of business. Bachman, Turner, Overdrive. All three of them are here because we're full service on this program. Whatever. And speaking of full service, we like to talk about a wide range of subjects. Yes, we talk politics. Yes, we talk local news. Yes, we talk 8 feet of snow in just a couple of days. But we also talk about arts and culture. And for that, we are proud to have Elijah Dillahay and Kayla Schaefer with us. They're with Intaglio Productions, which is the parent operation of The Storm, which, as you probably know, is the Erie-based musical Jeremy Long is trying to bring to the Great White Way, and we've been talking the last half hour with these two folks about what Intaglio is doing and some of the things that are going on. Now, you may remember last July I was in New York City to see a performance of an abbreviated version of the show that was put on for a group of investors, and that's something of a upcoming tradition, I suppose. Would that be fair to say that something will be going on?
Annual event.
Yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit about this year, what's being planned in terms of 719?
So Intaglio Productions, as we just said, 719 is our annual event. This will be our second annual at the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown.
That was the address of the first studio, correct? 719?
Yes, it was, correct.
Which is right here on State Street, right across the street. Yeah, right behind us.
So for short, we call it 719, and it's really just a celebration of art. So what Intaglio Productions, our goal is, and what we are doing for every year, we have a new work that we're going to be showcasing or presenting. So this year, it will be Mulberry Street. That's the work that we're looking to put out to everyone. So Intaglio Productions not only wants to showcase and have The Storm, but we also support other people's and artists'
new artists,
yes,
new works.
Exactly.
So this is from a new artist, this piece?
Yes. Yes.
Sure is.
So that will be the evening showcase that they will be seeing. Also, educating young dancers or current teachers in dance is also a part of our mission for Intaglio Productions. So Eli will be taking on the dance portion of our day, and he can tell you a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So a huge portion of, Marge and Jim's story was their involvement in dance and
sure.
how many students and lives she affected, on a daily basis, just with teaching. So one of the things that we want to kind of continue with Intaglio Productions and with the 719 event specifically is education. Always continuing to, give back to the community, but giving back to new students and furthering dance education and giving students a wide range of opportunities and genres of dance. So what's great about the 719 event is the days leading up to it, we're wanting to grow this event. We have a couple, hopefully, in the future we'll make it, more days and more days of just events and things that we'll
almost
offer.
like a festival.
Yeah, like a
situation.
like a celebration and an opportunity for, the people of Erie, but also for the people of New York, people all over to come and take master classes with world-renowned choreographers and teachers and educators, and then to see a show in the evening. So
and something they've never seen before, an
brand new
original
work.
piece,
Oh,
something
sure.
they can, get excited about and see. So that's why the Storm was obviously
Our very first,
putting on Jeremy's work first, but now we want to support other new artists and
giving
writers.
opportunities. I think is one of our biggest goals with the company is because I think that's something that's definitely lacking in the New York scene, in the New York performance world. Is it's hard to get an opportunity. It's hard to get a chance to just be seen and to show work and to do work. So we want to facilitate that as a production company and offer that both through education and through presenting new works.
So that's also something that we are currently working on back in New York right now is the 719 event. So Elijah specifically lining up the choreographers for the classes those days, and Mulberry, speaking with them, trying to get that up and running. So just really prepping for the event is what we'll be working on when we get back, in addition to the Storm
workshop.
So we have a very busy.
We're very busy right now.
2018.
Hit the ground running. I
yes,
think.
exactly.
2018 is our year for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, everything we were mentioning earlier. We're at a place where we can just continue to climbing the stairs, and we don't want to take a step back. We just want to keep going. And just next step, the next step, the next step, until we get this all the way to where we want it to be.
Yeah.
Kayla, I want to ask you about Erie specifically, because when I was in New York City and I was talking to some of the people that were looking at particularly the Storm, I was told more than once that the script worked the way it did because Erie was involved, and Erie was a kind of a central character to the plot. And if you'd have taken this couple and what was said to me specifically was, if you'd take this couple and make them a New York City couple and not have that kind of Midwestern influence, it wouldn't be the same thing. So what does it mean to you to have this operation, to have these attempts to do these things? I mean, I'm sure there's a number of, in New York City, operations to try to get a dance or a choral impact or get something going. But this is an operation that is uniquely Erie flavored.
Yes,
and so I was wondering your take on that, and what does it mean to you that this is an Erie operation trying to make the strides you're trying to make in the Big Apple?
I mean, it means everything, and it makes it that more exciting. Jeremy Long being from Erie, Marguerite Timko Kinney being from Erie, myself being from Erie. Erie is such a charming little place, and for us, a place we still call home. So to tell a story from our small hometown where we all grew up, where we fell in love with the arts here, and to put it in a place like New York City, I feel like people in larger cities may not have a connection to like that small hometown where everyone does know each other, and it's just really, really special. And that's why getting the support from residents in Erie is everything to us, because it's more than just about the show. It's about this charming little town that we all grew up in.
And I think a lot of people, if you haven't researched Marge's story and you don't realize this lady that was a child star in the silent movies and went on and did the Broadway stuff, and she danced.
Yep.
And then when they decided that, after the war or whatever, to relocate, they decided to relocate right here on State Street.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the foundation then for their family and the trials and tribulations. And I already said to Jeremy the respect I had for the fact that he didn't hold back some of the faults and some of the human frailties.
Absolutely not, no.
Marital indiscretion or whatever it was, that he was willing to paint that picture like that, which probably takes a little bit of guts, I would think, and it winds up being a much more honest portrayal when you're said and done.
Yeah, absolutely honest, and the storm specifically is, I think everyone can relate to it in their own way, and it's, family friendly, anyone can relate to a character or a situation in the storm, and I think that's what makes it so real. The title in itself, The Storm, our daily life is the storm, right? There's...
Well, if you live in Erie.
There's ups and downs in everyone's life and personal struggles, and there's really something for everyone in this show, and how exciting that
a show
it's
for
about
the people.
Erie.
Absolutely.
Here in our own little town. So, it's so exciting.
As an outside, I'm not from Erie.
Erie-ite.
Yeah, I'm not from
An
Erie. This is
outsider.
actually my first time being here, so
Yay.
I'm learning so much about it, and I absolutely love it. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town here. But I do also come from a very small town, so I think that was one of the things that really immediately connected me to the show when I started working on it as a performer. Is it's a small town show with a big city story. Both of them together, she affected so many lives with her teaching and his music, but then together their story, like you said, it's so human, and they dealt with things that we've all dealt with, and to put that on the stage and to put it right out there where you can see it, it's raw and it's human, and it's we can connect with it immediately, and I for one definitely, it took me no time to just immediately connect with the show on that level.
And it's a great escape for an audience.
Absolutely.
So with 719, we intend to educate dancers during the day, and then showcase some new work in the evening, and then also our additional side project is still The Storm, and getting that workshop up and running.
We can get it.
Yes, giving it life and legs, and so that the audience and outreach just continues to grow to follow The Storm. And it's an exciting 2018 for all of us at Intaglio Productions.
Follow us, share everything you can on Facebook, Instagram,
And we'd love to have you on 719.
Please,
so
yes,
we'll keep you
please.
posted on our website, intaglioproductions.com, Instagram and Facebook. You can also find us at Intaglio Productions or The Storm. And we'd love to have you in New York City for our event and our workshop moving forward. We'll keep you posted on the details.
So I know you just said it, but I want to reiterate that because I wanted to make sure that any of our listeners who might have interest in looking at this further.
Absolutely.
Why don't you go through that again so they know exactly how they can find out more information about what's happening, events that are coming up, and how they might be able to help.
Great. So for 719, we will be posting, as I said, on our website, www.intaglioproductions.com, and also on Instagram and Facebook. You can type in Intaglio Productions. We'll be putting the dates and events, so it'll essentially be a timeline of those days around 719.
And who's going to be teaching our
Yes.
master classes? That will be decided within the next couple of weeks.
With the next couple of weeks, and then also ticket purchasing for the evening showcase. That will also all be posted on there within the next couple of weeks here as well. So we will be updating all of those social media platforms and the website, so everyone can find all the information there regarding the event.
Well, since it's a first visit for him, and I know, now, this is radio, so you folks don't know this, but trust me when I tell you, neither one of these people have an ounce of fat on them. They're dancers or performers or whatever, so, you know, I mean, they could probably, a pair of my
You
pants...
made my day. You just made my day.
They could probably both fit into a pair of my pants. You know? But anyway, my suggestion is, since it's his first visit, I don't know, Smith hot dogs, Connie's ice cream, some of the craft beers, maybe. I mean, there's got to be something eerie.
Well, we went to the Colony last night.
Oh, lovely.
Love the Colony.
Listen, I may look like I don't eat, but oh, I eat. Trust me. We will.
You just burn it off.
Romelo's, Stefanelli's.
Oh, see?
We gotta hit up that.
Let's go.
Too,
I'm here till Tuesday. Let's go.
Always take that and some pepperoni and balls back to New York City.
What, you know, you talk about this kind of contrast between like a small town mindset into a New York City operation. Where do you envision, as you look down the road, if you think to yourself, you know what, I'd really like to see this company become, how big do you get while still maintaining those kind of small town values?
That's a great question. You know, I think it's kind of inevitable for the company, because right now the company is fully run by, aside from myself, fully run by a family of 4, and then there's me. So, you know, it's already a family community once it started, and I was, you know, once I joined the production team, like, I was brought in with such a, like, I felt part of the family during the show, and then we started working together, and it was, you know, it was second nature. So I think that's something that's always going to stick with us, that, you know, it was kind of started as a family company and as a, you know, as a small town organization, but with, you know, big time dreams and goals.
And Jeremy working on this show for 10 plus years.
Oh my gosh, he totally paved the way for all of this.
Just striving to turn those no's into yeses, and we've all had our struggles just living and trying to perform and be artists in New York City. So to follow Jeremy in his pursuit to just continue to keep going, because we do see that end goal. We do see us producing other people's shows, you know, starting with showcasing new works on 7/19, so giving other people and opportunities. So it's very exciting for us, but to still maintain those small town home values,
family values, it's something that, like, you know, I think that's something that will just always stick with us, because it's a part of the company. It's a part of, you know, the stories that we want to tell, and the work that we want to do is that on a personal level, that small town values, big town. I keep saying that. I don't know, like, it's a small town.
Is it hard to split your time when it's obviously a full-time job to try to bring a full-sized musical to Broadway, and at the same time then have these other ventures and say, look, we don't want to be a one-trick pony, this company has to branch out and do some other things to be successful?
Yeah, I think that's what Jeremy's wanted it to be from the beginning, you know, a place for people to show their work, and for the beginning of this, for us to really get the storm out there and really get it as far as it can go. That was, you know, the original intention, but then, you know, opening the eyes to see.
And Jeremy has told us from day one when he started Intaglio Productions is he doesn't want all the people with the big names and the big lights. He wants to support the people that are hardworking and talented and struggling, who haven't been giving that attention and the spotlight for what, but
who have the complete ability and the talent to do it. There's so many people out there like that, especially in New York. I mean, they're all over the world, but, like, New York is full of them, of people who just haven't had
New York's got to be a magnet for those type of people.
Absolutely. So that's you know, what we want to do.
Jeremy's goal and vision, which has become our goal and vision now as well, is to just find that talent and give other people opportunities that they wouldn't be given otherwise.
Elijah Dillehay, Kayla Schaefer, thank you both for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, continued success, and yes, please keep us informed as things go along, because we want to pay attention to this and see how far Erie can get in terms of making New York and Erie proud. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.